It is one of the most talked about new thrillers and is already in the works to be a feature film. Woman in the Window pays homage to old Hollywood motion pictures by masters of suspense such as Alfred Hitchcock. It's the story of a lonely woman who refuses to leave the confines of her 5-story brownstone and then fills her days with old movies, too much wine, and by photographing her neighbors from her window. Author A.J. Finn joins us today to tell us more. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me today.
I was telling you before we got started, we're celebrating the Oscars this week, and I don't know, maybe if this is already a feature film in the works, maybe we could hear more about this next year for the Oscars. What say you?
That would be pretty amazing. Fingers crossed, yes.
So I love the idea. Me and my producer were talking about this before. You can have these suspenseful storylines, but not necessarily have to be gory and graphic. I'm assuming that's what this is it not?
That's absolutely right. I'm a big Hitchcock buff, and I love old movies in general, especially classic noirs. I don't have much of a threshold or a low threshold for violence, and happily, Hitchcock rarely indulges in violence at all. So I wanted to write this book as an homage to those timeless, sophisticated movies, and accordingly, there's very little bloodshed in the book. There's minimal profanity. I like to think it's a thriller the whole family can read.
Well, and to be honest, I think it's more about the story. I mean, I think that gives a lot of credit to the author that can make this kind of, suspenseful storyline without all of that. It's literally up to the writing, the story, right?
Oh, good. Thanks for that. Yes, I did not want to resort to shock tactics or cheap scares. So I tried instead to focus my energies on creating a character, a lead character, an agoraphobic woman who is credible and believable and relatable. That way, when you feel invested in her, you feel invested in her fate, in what happens to her.
I can't wait to tell my mom about this. My mom and we used to watch old Alfred Hitchcock movies. I mean, is that who you're trying to, the fan base for? Are you trying to get a new fan base to kind of rediscover Alfred Hitchcock as well? Because I think, unfortunately, for some generations, we might be kind of losing that.
I fear you're right. I know a lot of people of all generations, actually, who will tell me point blank, oh, I don't want to watch a black and white movie. And I think to myself, you're missing so much good stuff. So if readers can, having read this book, go and check out a few of the 44 or 45 films mentioned over the course of the story, I'd be a very happy camper.
Yeah. Well, what's next for you? What else are you working on?
I've got another book that was due a couple of weeks ago, so I need to finish that up. And I'll be keen to see what Hollywood does with the film version. I'm not involved in it, although Fox, the studio, has been very gracious towards me. But the producer is an Oscar winner, and the screenwriter has a Pulitzer. So between them, I think the project is in good hands. I can't wait to see it.
Have they cast the people yet? Do we know who's going to be in the film?
They have. I do not. They're saving the casting for last. The lead role is that of a 40-year-old woman, and there are so few roles for 40-year-old women in Hollywood that the studio feels quite confident they can cast any one of a number of stellar actresses. So I can't wait to see with whom they go. Well,
do you have a pick? I don't know. This is your story. Is there anyone that would be best fitting for it?
Do you know, I'm not particularly preferential. I didn't have anyone in mind when writing it, and I don't have anyone in mind right now, but I'm very eager to see what they have in mind.
Yeah. Well, again, congratulations on all the success of this book and the new endeavors you have coming up. And of course, where can we get the book? I'm assuming it's everywhere, Amazon, all the bookstores?
It is everywhere. You can buy it at Barnes & Noble or your local indie. You can buy it online in ebook form at Kindle, Nook, Apple, and you can listen to the audiobook as well.
Ooh, audiobook too. I like it. All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.